Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's August 28th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. Check out that marine layer down the coastline towards the Bay Area, moving around, not that thick. And you can see Central and Southern California, nice sunny skies across the coastline this morning. Check out that smoke across Southern Oregon, Northern California there. You can see it trying to move down into some of the valley areas. We'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look at the trough. Looks like it's going to set up shop here as we go through the end of the week, and we'll check out precipitation values here and some of the model runs. Now, taking a look at Tropical Storm Hillary, some interesting records here. We talked about this yesterday, but still kind of marveling about it. A lot of areas that had never seen rain on this date. In Los Angeles and Long Beach, for example, got over 2 inches there. And look at Sandberg, the previous record of 1/100 of an inch, 4.62. Just some amazing totals came in here with the tropical system. And you can see some monthly precipitation values fell, and most of those records were set back in 1977, kind of owing to the extreme nature of this precipitation event that is known as Tropical Storm Hillary. So look at this, high risk, take action here. I mean, it's not too crazy. I don't want to start to sound any alarm bells here. This is pretty typical stuff when you warm up here across Southern California, 16 degrees above normal. Of course, warmer the further you go off into the east towards the desert areas. But look for Phoenix. 120, some Arizona, very hot out there. And this is kind of interesting here. If you have AC, use it. Does anybody live out there without air conditioning? Kind of an interesting thing to put there in the graphic. But yeah, pretty hot, downright hot across some of the desert areas on into California here. Nice graphic there from the National Weather Service Phoenix. And wind gust forecast, this might actually drag some smoke down in towards Redding and Chico here over the next couple of days as well. Trough swinging through the Pacific Northwest, kind of giving a little bit of a bump here to some of the pressure gradient as that system moves through. This is the red flag warning, and you can see the air quality alerts. Probably should be including some in Northern California here as well. But yeah, we're still going to have those fires ongoing, and hopefully this trough can bring some measurable precip to really help extinguish and suppress some of that fire activity. Now let's look at the upper levels, 18,000 feet. Got Hawaii here. There's Washington. There's California. There goes the trough impacting the Pacific Northwest, swinging through, going to kick off that gradient a bit here, some breezy conditions. And then the trough settles down across the Pacific Northwest and tries to make its way across Northern California here. The European more favorable for precip versus the GFS, a little bit more so anyway. But we'll watch this trend. Hopefully this can move out to the west a little bit here and allow for a little bit better moisture dynamics to move out in front of it. The further west it tracks, the more southerly flow and the more precipitable water and potential precipitation you can get with a system of this nature. Now this is looking at the European total precipitation in inches. Let's scroll ahead here. Now we're looking at Friday morning. Some of this precip starts across the higher terrain in Northern California, tries to make its way out down towards some of the central Sierra, and maybe even a little bit of rainfall for the Bay Area. Wouldn't count on too much here, but mainly for the higher terrain here with this trough moving across the area. But some pretty good amounts showing up here across some of the mountainous areas. So, we're still watching this. Let's see how this unfolds and see how this forecast evolves over the next day or two. This is the GFS. Short-term good agreement. The trough kicking through the region there, kicking up those winds for a brief period of time. Then the trough sets up over Northern California, not quite as far south as the European here. So we need this thing to back up to the west a little bit here, get some better precipitation values back up into the region here. So let's hope for that. This is looking at the GFS and what it would bring on its most recent run. This is 12Z, hot off the presses. And as we scroll through Friday morning here, you can see some of the precipitation values kick off across the higher terrain. Not too bad here. But trying to get some more down into the Sierra Nevada here. Not a lot showing up, but we're going out towards next weekend. So yeah, we'll take what we can get out of this trough, but hopefully it can trend a little bit more wetter here across the region. We'll see about that. This is looking at national blended models for today. You can see some upper 90s across the valley, very warm across the desert areas, including Arizona, Death Valley out there. And you don't have to go that far off the coastline to get some pretty warm temperatures across Southern California as well. Bit of a cool down tomorrow. You can see a gradual downtrend as we go through this later this week coming up here as that trough comes down across the area and puts the damper on some of those upper level ridge heights here, allowing for us to cool down across a lot of the region. As you can see by Saturday, temperatures will be noticeably cooler across much of the area. And then kind of more seasonable as you get off towards next week there. This is looking at 6 to 10 day. Look at California and that below average signal here coming up. This goes through September 6th. This is the 6 to 10 day precipitation here, and we will take it. Let's get some precip in here in Northern California to help out with some of those fires. 8 to 14 day. Look at this, the west coast there, below average signal there through September 10th. And 8 to 14 day precipitation. Hopefully California can continue to get a little bit more precip as we go on in through the early portion of September. Look at this air quality. It is not good across Southern Oregon, Northern California right now, so we can use any precipitation we can get across the area there. This is the HER 12 gamma 3 km, 12Z run here, sorry, as we go on and through the day today. On in through tomorrow, you can see some of the smoke get dragged down into the valley there as that trough passes across the area. So there we go on in through Wednesday morning. Some of that smoke could get pretty far south, almost getting down to the Bay Area and really infiltrating into the valley by Wednesday morning here. So heads up for that. If you see the smoke starting to get thick over the next few days, that is the reason why. Hopefully the trough will bring some relief shortly thereafter. Here we go with the 100-meter wind speed, just kind of showing you the winds that are going to be driving down across the area here, kind of moving to the valley as we go through Wednesday morning here. Not too big of a deal here, but could be spreading some of that smoke around. Now I want to take a look at El Nino. We got the most recent forecast here, just updated, or at least some updated information. Nino 3.4, that is now 1.5. That is technically in strong El Nino territory. So our long track from La Nina towards this strong El Nino now continues. And there's the ENSO region, 3.4. That's where we measure those conditions to determine whether it's El Nino or La Nina or neutral conditions. Hawaii would be there. There's Australia, Maritime Continent, and South America here. So now, if we take a look at some of the westerly anomalies across some of the equatorial regions here, they're becoming more westerly, which means the atmosphere is starting to look more like El Nino conditions as well. And what does that mean? So neutral, you tend to have the Pacific Walker circulation off across the western Pacific here. Tends to be warmer than the eastern Pacific here. So you get more low pressure, you get more convection there, and it changes the circulation across the Pacific Ocean. During La Nina, this gets enhanced. You get these easterlies, and you pull away water from South America, and you get that cold tank extending across the equatorial Pacific there, marking those La Nina conditions. But however, during El Nino, this changes up. This Walker circulation, you get the warmer water here. You get these westerly anomalies, which is the map I showed you a couple slides ago. So that looks like it's setting up now. Things are starting to look much more El Nino-ish here as we go through the late summertime period here as we're building up this warm water across the equatorial Pacific. But anyway, yeah, we'll continue to watch that El Nino unfold here. I'll probably do another El Nino video. I've done an educational one here just in the last few months as well. You can check that out in some of my videos there. But yeah, let's hope this trough backs up a little bit more here and allows for some better dynamics to get up into the region here, get some more precipitation out of that, and help out with the fires across Northern California here as well. So, but we'll continue to watch the forecast, of course, as we go day by day. We'll look for stuff off in the fantasy forecast as we move through the late summer towards the fall months here, and hopefully we can get another above average precipitation fall and winter and on in through early next spring. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe, leave some comments below, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.